He was Puerto Rican. He's like, no, I want 420. And I'm like, okay, cool.
All right, dog.
No, it's just Puerto Rico has some of the fastest rotaries in the world, right? They had their place in the rotary world. Matter of fact, I love TJCs too, but I'd rather put together 4 rotary engines than one TJ any day. Yeah.
Message received.
Seeing your dad working on the car, like I was the kid holding the lamp and getting yelled at because I wasn't holding it straight.
It's time for the Car Guys Be Like podcast, presented by Skunkwerks Projects.
I hate it here. Cretins. Hello. Welcome back to the Car Guys Be Like podcast. I'm your host, with always, never, the most, the infamous Chad B. We got a good episode for y'all today, man. We are talking about all things Rotary. So let me introduce y'all to the normal gang and our special guest. First up, we got, you know him, you love him, the neighborhood Sancho, a.k.a. Perk Sancho. He out here. And you know him, you love him, you want to be him. Sheila's very own.
Hey.
At HydroCon22.
Let's go.
AKA HydroCodon22. Special tiny guest. Yeah, Shy Brown on the ones and twos. Okay. Oh, you want water? All right, stand by. And last but not least, our special guest for the month, we got Richard Corina. Rich, you want to take some time to introduce yourself to the podcast and to our tens of listeners?
Yep, Rich Corina, originally from Puerto Rico. I've been in North Carolina since 2006, so this is like my second home now. I like everything that has combustion in it and that it makes noise.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
That's not all you can ask for.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Welcome, man. Welcome. We are glad to have you. We've been trying to link up for a hot minute, but we got it done. Because again, 2025 New Year's resolutions. We out here. Timer check, boys.
You're good.
I have nothing. Cool.
It'll come up soon.
Yeah, I was a little too hyped.
I was waiting on some
people,
scat pack.
Yeah. Bro, people were hitting me up left and right, like, God damn, bro, do you not like scat packs? And I'm like, no, I don't.
That's his tick. That's
Trigger,
his tick.
bro. I am set off. I go into a blood rage. So yeah, man. We will be talking about all things Rotary related, FD, FC, RX8s, the whole nine, man. Anything with a spinning Dorito for a motor. So before we get into it, man, like, comment, subscribe. Visit the website www.skunkwerksprojects. That's with an E, not an O.
Nailed it.
Bro, I'm killing
2 episodes in a row.
Bro, I'm on one. And and support your very own project car by grabbing a set of injectors from Fuel Injector Clinic and other parts as well, man. We also got merch. We got new merch, got new t-shirts, whiskey, beer, glassware, the whole nine. If you guys want to come join us on the pod, please get at any one of us. You can find us on our handles on the channel. We'd love to have you talk about something, especially one of you scat pack boys out there.
Come defend yourself.
Come defend yourself. Come defend your honor. Come at me. Come on down. So, yeah, man. So again, we're talking about rotary engines, just the JDM car scene and the car culture down in Puerto Rico. Because I don't know about y'all, I've never been. Like to visit. Rich, you own a garage, correct?
Yeah, I do. It's a small garage, so.
Very cool, man. Very cool. But word on the street is you got the baddest JDM cars in town, man. Like you just a man. You're like if I was shave my head and turn myself into Vin Diesel and decide to film like Fast 15. When I come to Puerto Rico, I'm gonna see you out there just doing work.
No, I mean just a normal guy. Compared, there's some bad cars in Fayetteville, though, in Rayford,
okay,
the area. There's a bunch of Supras, Skylines, some good at these. Just people keep them hidden. You probably see them you probably see more bad cars like good cars from Fayetteville in like rally cars
Okay.
and coffee.
Yeah,
'Cause,
that
you
makes
know, the
sense.
car scene here is kind of weird. You have cars and coffee Fayetteville, which is the only decent one. That's the one I like to go. But I don't have the baddest cars in Fayetteville. I got some rare cars, and they're cool. They're the baddest to me, right?
Hey,
'Cause,
that's right. That's right.
That's all that
That's what
matters.
matters.
That's all that
there's
matters at the end of the
some
day,
sick
man.
cars out there.
Yeah. So yeah, man. No, that's awesome. Like,
They didn't want to risk crashing them on that or getting hit on that Skyboat dragway.
yeah.
Boy.
Parts are expensive.
Hey, man,
Parts
it's tough out
expensive.
here. Inflation is real, boys. Man, Rich, it's all about you today, man. They've heard me rant enough. But yeah, man. So how did you get into like cars in general? Like, and what I would say, like, I guess what drew you to Rotaries, and specifically.
Yeah, I think I got into cars just like a lot of people do. You know, just seeing your dad working on the car. Like I was the kid holding the lamp and getting yelled at because I wasn't holding
Of
it straight.
course.
And
I do that all the time.
my dad was he's from Argentina. When he went to Puerto Rico, he had to like start over. So he started like going to school for mechanic and all that. He became a European mechanic, so he worked on a lot of European cars. And then I used to see him work on cars, and I thought it was cool. But then at the same time, I just want to go play with my kids. So like I took a lot of that for granted.
Yeah.
But you know, just seeing him being able to fix my bike, everything that I brought him, the neighbors who bring the lawnmower because they couldn't figure out why it wouldn't start, and then him being able to fix it, that built that like hero picture, right? And then I was like, well, I want to be like that guy one day, and started like loving cars. And then I was a guy fixing my friends' bikes. And, you know, like, I thought I was like the guy, and then somebody brought
Look,
me.
man.
I
Hell
forgot
yeah.
what it was. It was like a mini bike, you
Yeah.
know, like those mini bikes they
Look,
used to
man.
have back in the day. Man, I couldn't fix it. So then I took it to my dad, and then my dad helped me kind of work on it, and then that gave me that like appetite or like that. I was hungry for knowledge, so I was like, I want to know how to fix everything that has an engine.
Yeah.
And then I see my dad working in the shop in front of the house, and I go help him out. Sometimes I didn't, right? Like when he was working on automatic transmissions, I'm like, that smells real bad, and it's just messy, like whatever. Never like that. But everything else kind of woke the appetite for that. And then my dad being a car guy, like knew other people, so like he'll go visit a guy that used to do like paint and body work for him, and then that guy had another friend that had like track cars, and they had a bunch of rotary cars there. And I'm telling you, if you see these, it was like the hood, right? Like they had like a carport.
Shit, yeah.
Their best car is like covered by a tarp, and you're like, man, this is weird. But then they
Let's
take
go.
that tarp out, and then there's like the pristine paint job. You know, this car with the big tires in the back, and then they're like, you know, my dad asked the guy like, hey, can you start it up so he can hear it? And he's like, yeah, sure, why not? And then they started. That was the first rotary that I heard. And I heard that thing, man, and it had that distinctive rapping sound. And I was like, man, I don't know what that is, but I like it.
But I
'cause you
like
can
it.
feel it in your
Yeah.
chest. Right?
Yeah.
I was like, and then me, ignorant me, I was like, I want a rotary car when I grow old. And I thought all of them sounded like that from factory because I didn't know. And then like years later, when I was in the military, you know, I had a few cars before. My first car was ugly. It was my grandma's station wagon. You remember those station wagons with the vinyl on the
Oh
side?
yeah.
The wood?
The wood grain.
On the outside.
And I still like try to prep it. I put on a sauce on that thing and beat it. When I see it in pictures now, it's like, man, what a waste of money. But then after that, I was able to get a 240 SX.
Nice.
That was a 1990 240 SX. It had an ugly paint job. When I look at it now, it looked like Fast and the Furious with stripes. But to me, it was my car, right? And I love that thing. I didn't take care of it. I blew it up. And then right there, my dad's like, okay, well, you blew up the car I bought for you, so now you're going to fix it. Mm-hmm. He made me pay for the parts. He helped me build it, but he made me do all the work. I might have some pictures of it here, me and my friend building that thing.
Nice.
My friend that helped me blow it up helped me build it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And
then
it sounds
after
like me
that-
and you, Corey.
Yeah.
Yeah. After that, I built that car, man, and I kind of like just having that. I get that the blood, sweat, and tears into that small
Yeah.
build. made me appreciate the car more, and then I baby it. I did not. I baby that thing until I joined the Army. I didn't have Rotary until like I was here in North Carolina, which was like years later. I went to Raleigh, pick up a 1985 GSLSE, which is like they call it the 5-liter because they have the GSL plus the SE, which stands for Special Edition. Bought it from an old man that it was the only reason he was getting rid of it was because he got like a 79 Ferrari and he couldn't fit it in the garage. And I remember going over there. I paid $2,300 for it.
Damn.
And the thing was mint. And the guy's like, hey, if you want to go test drive it, and man, if you would have seen this car, you would have been like, yeah, I want it, even if it doesn't start.
Yeah, right. You don't run like
and I was like, no, I want it. And he's like, no, you sure? And I was like, no, yes. Like, I'm very sure I want it. I remember, but I remember that when he started it, and it was just like a smooth idle. This thing was like a baby. It was so well kept. I was just like, where is the Brap? You know, and like, I was like, where this is not a Rotary. And then from there, I was trying to, because I work in piston engines, right? But I wasn't like very into Rotary engines. And then I myself, as a young private, I think I was a E5 in the military. I was trying to get a mechanic to like, which he was done, just taking this stock, beautiful collector's car, and I just wanted to put a port and make it sound like, you know, like that Brapping sound, and put like a turbo. And everybody's like, don't do that, dude. Like, you don't know what you're doing. I was like, it's my car, do whatever.
No. We need the Brap.
I could not find a mechanic, which it was good. Because I ended up not doing a lot of crazy stuff to that car. And, you know, now that I think about it, it's like, yeah, it's the right choice. Like, a car like that, you don't just break apart.
Yeah.
Then I ended up getting a second one. I got, never had a Honda Civic, but I got one just because everybody had Honda Civics back then. And then I didn't last long because I think I drove it one time and they tried to like steal it. I was like, I don't want to do this every weekend.
No.
So I listed it for sale. A guy in Charlotte hit me up. It's like, hey, I got this RX-7 Bridgeport. I'll trade you for it. I was like, oh yeah, that sounds like a good deal.
That's the Brat.
Yeah.
FC or FG?
No, it was a FB, like a first.
FB.
Oh wow!
It was clapped out, man. It was bad. This thing was horrible.
When you say he was trading RX-7 for a Honda Civic, I was like,
I mean, and there's a lot to it. Like, I thought it was a deal. I thought I was getting a deal. You know, he started up, and I was like, yep, put it in the garage, in the trailer. I'll take it home. I took it to the house. I showed it to my friend, and they're like, oh yeah, it sounds really good. And then I shut it off. And then I was like, oh, let me move it here. I went to start it, and it wouldn't fire up. Like, as soon as it warmed up, it wasn't firing up. And I was like, oh, man, there's something wrong with it. You know? No, it was just like the engine was trash inside.
Was it? Okay.
It will just build enough compression when it was cold to start.
Oh.
And it will sound beautiful. But as soon as it warmed up, like all the seals started span and all that, and then like it will lose compression and it will it will not start back up. So me being, you know, this guy hungry for knowledge and wanting to learn, I think I took it to a guy. He wanted way too much. It was probably the right amount of money, but for me, just being broke, I'm like, I can't pay that much for this thing. It's just so ugly. It has like panels with different colors, like self-tapping screws everywhere, and I'm like, no, it's just not worth it. So I remember I went to a junkyard back then. This is like over 15 years ago, maybe 12 years ago. There was no, the parts were super cheap. So there was not a lot of demand for them. You know, like a lot of people didn't care for them. So I went to a junkyard, I picked a short block, the keg, for like $80. And I bought a couple of CDs, I bought a couple of chip manuals, and I started like, you know, learning about them and just like taking it apart step by step.
Nice.
And then I was like, well, if I can put it together by the book, it should somewhat like run like a car, right? And I put it together following, I think it was like Mazda Tricks or Racing Beat. Every company that made parts back then had a DVD on how to build engines.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then like I just nonstop. My wife was like, "Hey, let's watch a movie." I'm like, "No, I am watching a movie. Like this is
watch this.
and I put that thing together, and that engine ran for like 8 years. I don't even
Oh,
until
yeah.
we
Dang,
sold it.
that's
right?
crazy.
Yeah, and then that was it. Okay, I can do this, right? And then there was like every time I talked to other people, they're like, "Hey, did you do this and that?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't." But like, I mean, it wasn't in the book. But it's stuff like people knew through trial and error and experience and like networking, and like it just made me want to learn and like be that guy that had the knowledge. So like I was always like either sharing knowledge with people, reading. Back then, you guys probably remember the forums were big.
Yep.
Yeah.
So for every group of cars, there was like a forum. So RX-7 Club was real big.
Yep.
So I would go there and like, man, I will save pages like in case they.
Oh,
crash,
yeah.
Yeah.
I would like save the pages, and I had like my own like book like list in my desktop.
Just got
of
his
all these
manual
pages.
like this thick.
That's
I mean,
all, that's all we had though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's it though. That's
Yeah, but the
that's how it
forums were
was.
good, right? Because
Yeah.
like nowadays you got Facebook and you got the groups, and then there would be guys that be like, I wanna, how do you do this? I'm like, oh, you do it like this, and then we're like, what about this? I'm like, dude, you're trying to build a car by asking questions, like step by step on the groups. The
Yeah,
forums were
no.
good because you have all the knowledge. You do like
You just scroll
search
through
it,
right
and-
there.
Go
Yeah.
through. Yeah,
A
some
lot of
people
them had
just-
like how-tos and
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like
those
stuff
were
too.
money.
Yeah.
Those were money.
Yeah.
So like,
I've still got some of the 2J ones pinned on the
nice.
yeah. I mean, and why not? Like, you know, if,
super forums.
if you can like avoid a headache, like yes, I've been working with this car for a while now, and like I still like watch other people work on YouTube, just to see how people do things and like get new
different
ideas.
perspective.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Well, I'm not doing it like that, and like even with like how-tos, like how to change. Like my truck got busted the other day, and I was just like at the window, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna pay $100 if the guy keeps missing the appointments. I'm just gonna do it myself.
Yep.
Few seconds on YouTube, I just did it.
Yep.
Saved like $150.
YouTube certified.
Yeah, so that's how I started, and like being from Puerto Rico and hearing those cars and seeing them on the track, like they always like stay there. And I was like, yeah, I gotta own one of those.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
now,
for
now
sure.
I love them.
For sure.
Now I love them, man.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I love 2JCs too, but I'd rather put together 4 rotary engines than one 2J any day.
Message received.
Yeah.
Guys, I just had an idea. I'm gonna start a scat pack forum.
Ooh.
And
That
just,
way
In
it's gonna
crayon.
read it.
yeah,
was
like
gonna
do
write-
it in like, do it in like crayon and just like bad broken grammar and just shit talk scat packs all day. It's gonna be great. Hell yeah.
Yes, man.
Well, hey man, leave me alone. Man. I had a lot of hate in my heart, man.
By the way, that clapped out car is still somewhere in the area.
Oh shit!
Oh wow.
It still persists, man.
There was a time that I had 3 of them, and I had too many, so I gave that clapped out car to my friend that owns a shop around here in Lindsay Road, and he had the title on my name, but he sold it to his cousin. So 10 years later, a guy is like, hey man, is your last name Garina? And I'm like, yeah, why? It's like, well, there's this car in Raleigh that I'm trying to buy, but the title is still in your name. And I was like,
No shit.
what does it look like? And he sends me a picture. I was like, no way. And like, he just wanted to know if he buys it, if I will sign over the title.
Like, oh,
I'm like, yeah, man, this title looked like somebody covering tattoos. Yeah, signatures everywhere. It was really bad. And I was like, yeah, man. So I went to the DMV, asked for another title, sign it over.
Nice.
He ended up not doing the bill, so he's like, hey, you want to buy it? And I was like, yeah, I mean, how much you want for it? He gave me a good deal for it.
Cool.
And then I bought it, sold it to a friend, and he sold it to another friend, and he still has it. So it's
That's
still
crazy, man. That
bouncing
car has
around.
got some history, man. That's pretty
Yeah.
dang awesome. For the uninitiated out there, people here, and I got a quick funny story. I had an RX-8 back in 2004. I had it for a while. I think I had it for like 6 years. And I remember I was driving home one day, and this dude pulls up, he starts revving his engine, and I rev mine like super high because like if you're not revving it at 9,000, what are you doing? And he was like, how many pistons does that thing got in it? Or like it's a V12, V4, like, and I'm like, 0, dog. And he's like, is that possible? Actually, yes, it is. So for the uninitiated out there, man,
That's me.
Yeah, whatever, dude. You're fine.
I'm the only one. I'm the
yeah,
cat who
man.
hasn't had one.
Hey, you got to do it, bro. You got to do
Yeah,
it
I mean, yo,
for the raps alone.
I'm not even gonna lie. Before I took that the 13B out and I drove it in the garage, I was like, I don't know, man. The sound, even that
listen,
little bit of exhaust that it had on there was nice.
It's worth it. Worth it. Yeah, man. If you want to give us like a quick rundown on the science, the mad science of the rotary engine and how they work, so Harrison can go buy him an FD or an FC.
That I can't afford either.
The most common engine you see out there is the 13B or 12A. Both of them are two rotors, right? So it's rotational force. Instead of like a piston going up and down in different cycles, you got rotational force. And then let's say a 13B has two rotors. So those cycles are all happening at the same time. Like, while like the rotor, I'll bring one real quick.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. We got visual aids.
Yeah.
Visual aids.
Man.
Let's go.
That's how you know we're going pro.
That's it. And for those of y'all who are actually not watching this on YouTube, we are looking in Rich's garage. He's just got some nice whips. No Hellcats.
See if I can
no
hold
Scat
these
packs.
without making a mess here.
There we
So you got a housing, right? So each engine or like a two rotor engine will have two of these two housings. And then you have the intermediate housing, dividing those, and then your end housings. And then this is what it will look like.
Let's
right?
go.
So this is the housing right here. This is your rotor. And then this is actually a clock that a friend of mine made. H-Rock Coatings. He does powder coating. He did this for me. And I had it in my office for a while. But
Hell yeah. Look at that. That's beautiful, dude.
Yeah, it is.
I love it.
yeah. So you see the rotor shape looks like a triangle, Dorito. It will create three chambers at all times. And then those cycles are happening at the same time. So like one chamber is stuck in air, the other one is compressing it, and then the other one is taking it out of the exhaust. So a lot of people in the racing world used to compare them to like V6s because there'll be like three cycles happening at the same time in each of the housings. And then a lot of people didn't understand them, and then that's why they got banned from a lot of events. And also because, they were just kicking ass. They're just unique. But that's pretty much how they work. So there'll be one eccentric shaft, which will be your equivalent to a crankshaft. And it has two lobes, and they're offset. And those two lobes are kind of what moves the rotor. And then, I don't know if you saw, but the rotor will have that gear side, right? And that gear will be engaged to a stationary gear that will be at the end, each end of the engine, right? You got your front stationary, your rear stationary, and that's what keeps the rotor in line so it doesn't bind in the housing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man.
Is that the same even if you have like a four rotor?
Yeah, if you have four rotors and you have like, I forgot the number, it depends because there's different type of four rotors. The 787B is what Mazda use. I don't remember. I'm guessing it has four stationary gears because each rotor at least requires one to keep it in line or to keep it, like from binding. A three rotor has three. So the number of rotors, generally, that's the number of stationary gears that you will have.
Okay.
Yeah. Those engines are like beautiful. They sound great. They even make a 6 rotor. I think Rob Dan had this 12 rotor engine that he just like started.
Yeah, is it Rob Dom pushing a 12 rotor now?
Yeah. Yep.
So at what point does it become too much in your opinion? Like,
Is there no limit?
It depends on the amount of money you have, right? Like if you have a bunch of money, there is no limit. For me, I'm happy with the 2 rotors because I can find the parts easy.
Yeah.
The 3 rotors are awesome, but like if you go right now in the marketplace or eBay and look for a 20B, they're like 15 grand, 20 grand for just a block. And then that's not counting all the other sporting mods, right? And things that you need to run it. So it gets where it's just like, the guys that had those cars for the street, very few of them beat on them because like if you damage something, then it's not only the price, but the availability of the parts.
Yeah. Right.
To get them.
That's
so,
true.
Like, I'm happy with the 2 rotors because I can find parts.
Yeah.
I got like 11 engines on my shed. Transmission still is
Just
very
like-
hard.
His backup got a backup.
Which is
I'm
ready.
catching stuff as he decides to part ways with stuff.
Yeah, right.
I'm always there waiting. Like, what's
That's
next?
it. Just what's next? What's coming down the pipe? Hell yeah,
So
man.
that's pretty much how it works. It's
Cool.
just like, the reason they're able to rotate or rev high is because you got less moving parts. You're not worried about the camshaft, the push rods, the lifters, all that stuff. It's eliminated. It's similar to like what you have a two-cycle engine or whatever.
The two strokes, yeah.
The two strokes, yeah, it's similar to that. When you don't have valves and all that. So you have less things to worry about.
Would you say it's easier or harder to build?
It depends, right? I tell everybody, if you're a piston mechanic and you're familiar, like mechanically oriented and you like to learn and all that, you'll find once you get familiar with this, way easier to build.
Okay.
There is things that you gotta keep in mind, right? I think, and every time I talk to people getting in it, it's like, get yourself a cheap 12A that you don't care about to assemble, disassemble, assemble.
That's
just so you
everything
can
that I
get-
saw on the forums when I first picked up the RX-8. They were like, "Oh yeah, man, just buy one and then start messing with it."
Yeah.
I thought it was ridiculous,
Yeah.
but I guess not.
No, and it's super easy to find information. You just gotta dig it, and then you can
And
still
be
get
able to
these
translate from
DVDs.
Spanish.
Nah, there's a lot of people. Trust me, I met a lot of awesome people here just buying parts and all that are like prior SCCA racers, and these guys are like in the 60s, 70s, and I had some of the best conversations with those guys because they have a wealth of knowledge. And sometimes they're like, hey, like I got this book here that has like all my little tricks and this, and like, will you be interested? And I was like, hey,
Don't mind.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, give me the recipe.
You can go ahead and make a couple copies and send it out, man.
yeah. The only thing is that you got smaller parts on these, right? And it's easy to make, like especially on the RX-8. People like these corners right here, they'll have like a round little piece of metal that will be the corner seal. In the RX-8 is a two-piece one, and if you flip it the wrong way, then it will bind on the side exhaust port, and then it will destroy everything. And that's the biggest mistake that the guys that are like learning and starting on them, maybe because they rush and they don't take the time to like read and follow the instructions because nobody follows instructions. That's the biggest mistake they do. But once you get familiar with them, you do them in a while. It's actually really easy to assemble these. You just gotta keep in mind the tolerances, clearances, all that. Inspecting them and cleaning them is probably the thing that takes the most time.
That's what I've seen in most of the videos.
They get disgusting. Yeah, like some videos you'll see like, assembling rotary engine, and you see like
but
a
usually it's
time-lapse.
like fast.
Yeah, and then it's all clean and beautiful. And it's like, yeah, you're not showing like you're taking out all this grease and all these like like
We don't see
all
the
these
clips
corners.
of he's over there just cursing at
Which
the
is
ceiling.
like super important because if you don't have it clean enough, then you're not able to inspect it. And sometimes, especially like in the housings, you might get a hairline crack that you miss, and then in the future it might cause trouble for you.
So with everything being so like detail oriented like that, and that kind of being the part that it sounds like it's overlooked in a lot of like the publicly available information, do you think that plays into why rotaries kind of get the bad reputation for being unreliable? Is it just like a lack of knowledge, or is there some type of design thing? Because they seem pretty like ingenious based on how you explain how they work.
Yeah, I think it's lack of knowledge, or just a lot of people want to treat it like a regular engine, right? Like a LS, right? You can beat a LS to hell, like keep the same oil, or like the Honda Civic B series, who like are super reliable. And you can keep that oil there forever, and not change it. Like rotaries, you gotta understand that they're different. Like they're designed to burn oil, and that's one of the things that people fail to check, right? Because if you're like the more you beat on it, the more oil is gonna consume because it's designed like that. And then you forget to check your oil. You run it low on oil, and bam, there goes the engine. And then people are like, "Oh, these engines are crap." Blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, maybe you should have like taken
Your
care
O
of
and
it.
M is crap, dog. That's what it is. But hell yeah, man.
It's not. They require a lot of maintenance. you know, they like to run a little bit rich. So like spark plugs is something that, you know, you gotta keep an eye out because you're not falling. And then the oil on them, like you have to. And then if you overheat them, they don't like that. They used to like warp or on the RX-8s usually because they had that multi-side port. The exhaust is a side port. They like to get really hot, and then those guys usually fail on the coolant seals. And then once that goes out, then the whole engine has to come apart.
Okay. Yeah, I could see how like that. Not if you don't understand just how like on top of the maintenance you have to be.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I guess that's really the case for anything that's kind of like a unique design.
That's how I
True.
feel.
Yeah.
That's like really, really like it performs well when it's taken care of, or like any like true race car that you have. Like you have to do the maintenance. Like
You think is that 30,000 like a realistic number, or is that just like something that somebody came up with? Or they say that you need to rebuild it about every 30,000 miles.
No, that's something. Well, the RX-8s, what people have seen, and you know, not to shit on that engine, right?
Hey, it is what it is.
Mazda tried to build that engine to meet a lot of EPA demands.
Yeah.
And you know, Rotaries run rich, and they're gas guzzlers.
They're here to scorch the earth, dude.
Yeah, when I turn mine in the garage, when I go to the movies with my wife, she doesn't like to do it anymore, but we'll drive to the movies in the FD. She'll be mad because she smells just like fumes as soon as she gets there.
This is the warm up for the movie.
So, I think Mazda trying to please meet all those requirements, limited the engine and just you know, like did a lot of things that shortened their lifespan. But like usually the RX-8s, you see them when they start getting to like 100,000 miles, they start like getting fatigued. And when you see in the marketplace, like when they, you know, like blown or like, you know, lost compression, usually like around 100,000 miles, 120,000 miles. I have an FD here that has a 97,000 miles and is on the stock engine. Still has the compression. The last time I did it was like in the 105s.
Oh shit!
So it was good, right? Like old faces. But I take care of it. Like I use good oil. That's one of the things that you should do. And I'm always checking every fitting, even if I don't need to. But like, I mean, all it takes is one hose loose, sprays oil on that hot manifold, and then there goes the whole car.
Yep.
But if you're generally like a guy that is mechanically oriented, like I'm pretty sure you do the same with the 2JC or any engine you have. You always want to check because it's your investment, right? It's your car. You don't want to lose it. But a lot of people just want to treat it like, I don't know, like a Toyota Tacoma, like just like beat it and forget about it.
I'm the worst at the maintenance. I find out like when I first got the 2J running the first time, I found out about loose fittings on the fuel rail by turning it over and watching fuel shoot out of me. I'm terrible with it.
These things get so hot on the exhaust side that if you get a spray of gas or something like that on that hot exhaust, it's gonna catch fire.
It's like Hurt always getting his engine on fire.
Yeah,
from Hoonigan.
Yeah. That's it. It's old Peck, man. Hell yeah, man. Me. But hey, man, the more you know, the more you grow, ladies and gentlemen. That's
for real.
That's Rotary 101 by Rich Corrino.
Dorito talk.
That's it. Give me a bag. I kind of want a bag of Doritos right now.
So,
but where we at? All right,
I want to hear about the mods.
Yeah, let's talk about mods, Rich, man. You have any like suggestions for Corey specifically?
See,
Corey.
Yeah, so I have an RX-8, but I'm motor swapping it. But the rest of the car is still going to be an RX-8.
Are you putting a V8 in it?
Yeah. Which
not just typical V8 swap though.
It's really not. It's so off the wall. We snatched the 351 Cleveland out of a Ranchero like 6 years ago, and I was gonna put it in like a Fox body, but then I came across this RX-8 and I was like, I mean, why not? It's pretty cheap, but now I'm have to do like weight distribution and a bunch of other things just because. it's like 300 more pounds than a 13B. So,
And he's got friends that are terrible influences, and will just peer pressure him into doing stuff.
That's fair. Yeah,
What year is that? RX-8?
I think it's 04.
Oh yeah, you're doing well at swapping it. No, I'm just kidding. It's just 04 and 05 were the ones that had like the most issues, and that's like
Guilty.
any other car. Like any car, the first generation is gonna like have all the issues pop up, and then Mazda slowly started fixing them. And then I think the 09 and 11 are the best ones where they like redid the whole oiling, OMP, oil metering pump system and all that. They swapped a couple of things because when the RX-8s came out, I wanted to get familiar with them. I bought one for like $700 when I was deployed in Cambodia, I think it was, and I just wanted to get familiar with the engine because it's all the same, but they had a couple of different parts, so I wanted to like open one up, put my hands in it, and get familiar with them. And I noticed some of the parts were not machined the right way, and it probably because Russian production or whatever. But like right with that stationary gear meets the block, there's a oil passage that in the 04s 05, if you look at the stationary gear, you'll see where it's offset. And it was machined the wrong way, and then it blocks actually oil flow.
Oh,
that
interesting.
bearing.
Interesting.
Okay. So
I've seen a lot of people like working on those, and that makes sense because I didn't know what they were doing at the time. But
they handle really well, like suspension wise. They're awesome.
Yeah,
and they're comfy.
Yeah,
I hate taking out the engine and putting them back in them because they're kind of in a cradle, and you have to like kind of go like perfect and down and just. FC or FB, you take that thing out like a few minutes. I said like 40 minutes out, and like in RX-8 you have to take all the extra stuff, and
that thing was sandwiched up in there.
Yeah.
And then you have the firewall there, so you have to like kind of clear the subframe and the firewall, and you're just playing with it, all kinds of angles. But yeah, that car is really good suspension wise.
It is. I think suspension wise, it's one of the best cars I've ever driven. Was that car? Like
I was actually watching something earlier about how like a lot of people with RX-8s, they buy like big brake kits, things like that. But supposedly those factory brakes are actually pretty decent for a factory car.
Mazda Miata guys, the NC Miata, the big one before the last one, before the ND. The NC guys will buy RX-8 brakes, like rotors and calipers, to put into their Miatas because it's an upgrade for them.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that car, yep, you point it, good to go.
They're good. They have their place, right? Like,
yeah, they got, that's it.
I got a friend that's a lover of them. He's on his second engine. I think he's finally seeing the light.
Yeah.
He's finally like, I'm gonna swap it. But
2 was enough for me, man, and I was out.
He's had more engines than oil changes at this point.
But he still has it though. He has it. He's gonna build it one more time. So I'm gonna help him out, and we'll see how long.
We'll see how it goes.
This will be the first time I help him. The last one he did it himself.
All right.
So
he's got the pro coming now.
He's got the.
I want to see if I can like make it last a little bit longer.
Yeah. It will. Yeah, hell yeah, man. But I guess man. Any mods you would recommend to anybody?
Or just in rotaries in general?
Yeah, just generally, mods like oil center. You just gotta make sure you got a good oil system, like oil cooling system. For like FDs, some of them just came out with a small oil cooler, so make sure you like add a second one. The cooler your oil is gonna run, the better. Fuel, they like fuel, so like you don't want to starve. You don't want some of these cars. People are still running their old injectors from 20 years, 30 years ago.
Oh, no.
So it's the injectors have evolved so much nowadays that it's why not, right? Like you can get a good set of injectors for them and replace your old fatigue ones. Anything that has to do with cooling, because they get really hot in there. So anything that's gonna improve cooling for the engine, whether it's like the intercooler, just airflow to the engine, or your coolant system. It's a plus. What else? If you're to take the engine apart and build it, take it to somebody that's doing a good job, make sure, like, ask them if they can get access to a machine shop that can do balancing and take your rotating assembly. Mazda did a good job of keeping like the rotors somewhat close. They code them with letters, and they're usually 1 letter apart, and they're usually close in weight. But nowadays, guys are balancing the rotating assembly, and that's actually helping guys keep their engines living longer.
Nice.
You guys probably see Rob Dam is one of them. The guys that have like engines making a lot of power, doing really well because he always like looks at that, and that's one of the mods that he does. And why not, right? If you have the engine part, take it to a good machine shop that can do that. It's hard to find machine shops depending where you're at. Here, my closest one will be in Virginia, so I have to drive a few hours. But the guy does good work. I think his name is Rotary. He did an engine for one of my friends. He did the studding. And that's another thing, studding, depending on, like, FD engines are really strong. And these holes right here, dowel pins is what keeps the
I've seen where they put like
aligned.
bigger ones in there.
Yeah, like, so you can put a 1-piece dowel pin. You can put a solid one and do an external oil mod, which is really good because the early engines on the side housings, right, the front one, the rear, the casting area around that is pretty thin, and with like detonation, when the engine starts like vibrating, they tend to crack, and then that goes your oil, and that can cause your engine or your whole car, because that oil, that oil is probably like 80 to like 100 psi. All that pressure oil shooting to your tires. There goes your traction, right? So like that's one good thing. And there's another thing that I recommend, that you take it to a good machine shop that's rotary specific, and they can do like through machining, so that it's not like a guy just drilling by hand and making a hole that's big, because you want it to be tight so that it kind of spreads the load of the engine, like all around the engine, and the guys that do the work, right, they have specific, not all of them do it the same, but generally all do similarly, where they spread those like half-inch studs around the engine to like help like distribute that load. That's one mod that I recommend everybody, at least 5 of them, to have an engine that's gonna last a while.
Okay.
And
There
then,
you go, people. That's the sauce to keep it going.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then good oil, man. Don't chip out.
Don't cheat.
Chip out.
So I've seen these people at like with rotaries at the pump, and they throw a little additive in there. Is that something that you need to do, or is this just like
Might have a
something
bottle
that people have come up with and they think it's
No. Here it comes. There it is.
Yeah, that's your premix, right? Like, let me see. I always keep a few here just in case, depending on the one I'm driving. If I gotta go to the pump, I take one of these.
Yeah.
So the engines were designed to inject oil into the combustion chamber to lubricate the seals, right? Because they generate a lot of heat.
yeah.
But with age, every mechanical piece gets fatigued, gets old. Sometimes it gets like a buildup, and then they start failing. So I tell everybody to run premix. You can get rid of the OMP, the oil metering pump, and then run premix, because you will know for sure that your engine is being lubricated. When you're running OMP, that's like 30, 40 years old, you're taking a risk, right? And especially those guys in the old 12A, because these engines, the 12As, run forever. Even when they look disgustingly like bad inside, they just don't care. But it's I think the OMP on these cars is vacuum fed. So like if your engine is not producing enough vacuum to suck that oil into the chamber, then you're not gonna get lubrication, then eventually it's gonna fail. So it's cheap, it's just an inconvenience, but like you drive a rotary car, right? Like it's just peace of mind. So like 1 ounce per gallon, and then you're gonna be like good.
There you go.
Trust me, every time I go to the gas station and people see me put in gas, like, what are you doing? It's like a weed whacker. I was like, nah.
What you doing over there?
When I had a diesel truck, I had like the little mix, and it had like the bottle where you turn it upside down and it fills it up. So it was looking like I was doing like a science experiment at the pump.
Of course, out here doing chemistry at the pump over here, man. Golly. Oh, man. All right, let's see. I heard it scream, so we might have to plow through these last few guys. Dad duty. Yeah. But, all right, man. So, I guess that being said, pre-mix and all that, what are some big, like, do's and don'ts for your rotaries? I adolescent me was victim to flooding my RX-8 quite a few times because I did not.
You didn't warm it up?
I did not. I was, yeah, I was probably drunk or high. I don't know.
I've heard you have to like cut them off hot.
You do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like usually, like I don't. If I'm gonna move my car a few feet, I let it warm up, move it, and then once it was warm up, that's when I will shut it off. Mm-hmm. You always want to do that. You always want to make sure it's warm up before you start beating on it. Yep. So that's why, like RX-8s, you'll notice they're limited from factory. Like you can't beat on them until they fully
you get the temp.
reach up.
Yeah.
That's one good thing that Mazda did for them. Premix, we just talked about that. Always premix. Let's see, regularly beat on it, right? Like don't just baby it. They like to rev high. They're designed like a racing engine, so at least once, every time you drive it, at least once you need to get on it and rev it high.
Bounce it off the limiter. Let's go.
And the most important thing is like get familiar with it.
Yeah.
Right. Like a lot of people get a car and then just like get it and they don't do the research and and they don't find out that they needed to do something until it's real late. The don'ts will be like don't shut it off. Like if you're gonna move a few feet, don't shut it off right there.
Don't be a Chad, everybody.
Don't treat it like any other engine. Don't treat it like your piston engine, because then you're gonna be like, well, I do this in my Silverado. It's like it's not a Silverado, man. Nope. Like they're different. Don't overheat it. Like if something's wrong and you see that needle going up, pull over in a safe area, and then have a buddy pick you up, and then pick it up later or tow it. But if you are a few minutes from your house and you try to push it, that might be your whole engine there because you just overheat it. And then don't cheap out. Don't be cheap. Like they don't like cheap parts. They don't like cheap oil. I usually use the Valvoline BR1 2050 on mine. Before that, I used the Castrol GTX 2050. It seemed to work for me. But this BR1 is way better. And it's also not that expensive. So just run the right oil for your location, and then you'll be good.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. Hear that, guys? Your rotary's not unreliable. The owner's unreliable.
It's just you.
Whip out that owner's manual.
I mean,
contact
you all know that guy that any car that he gets is just blow up. Man.
Yeah.
It's just,
that's me.
Yeah, I was about to say that's old Perk Sancho over there.
Maybe I need a rotary because all I want to do is beat on a car.
Hey, that might be the one for you, man.
Dude, the one rotary experience that I had riding in one, my buddy, when we were both in the military, he was like, yo, I need you to check out my RX-7. So he pulls up in this, it's white, we get in it, and we go over to, what is it, Cookout? Like right over there off Cliffdale?
Yeah.
Dude, we didn't even make it through, we like ordered, and we didn't even make it to the window before it blew up. Right there. We had to push it out of the drive-through. I was like, man, I don't know if I want one of these.
Oh man, what a time.
That's right. I only had one instance when mine wouldn't start, and I was like, this is weird. Like, it wouldn't crank up. And what it was, because I left it there, told my wife to pick me up, and then, the next day went with my trailer, picked it up, went home, and then chilled because I was mad. I'm like, I'm gonna sell this car. I can't believe it just fell. Like I haven't done anything. I climbed under it because I saw a piece of rubber sitting on the floor. I'm like, what is this? it was the clutch, your neutral switch, your clutch safety switch. The little rubber piece that holds that together had fallen because it was like 30 something years old.
Oh shit! Yeah, yeah.
And then it wasn't letting me start the car. That's the whole.
Oh
God
man,
damn it.
that's probably a lot better than having
Yeah,
a
yeah.
guilty
That's
engine, though.
Right?
a better feeling though. Like, man, we might the brand. This is educational video,
It
boys.
is. We're learning.
We are learning today.
So, Rich, with you being like obviously being very knowledgeable with rotaries and kind of like having your journey in there, and then also being from Puerto Rico, there's at least on the outside looking in, there's this obvious stereotype about Puerto Ricans and rotary engines in general. Is there anything to that, or is there just like an action, or is that just a myth?
No, it's just Puerto Rico has some of the fastest rotaries in the world, right? So
Okay.
they had their place in the rotary world, and yeah, I think Australia, New Zealand, and Puerto Rico have the fastest rotaries in the world, and then you have Japan. Japan has some good stuff, but like in the 70s, Puerto Ricans dominated the rotary scene, and still today, there's a lot of great. Bad. When I say bad, I mean like great mechanics over there. You got Loquito Killer. In Puerto Rico, every town has like a badass mechanic, like a rotary mechanic.
Dang.
So like they I mean you got, and then with rotaries over there, they had the National RX-7 Day every year. Once a day, all the RX-7s of Puerto Rico get together, and then they had the National Rotary Engine Day, and that's like swaps and RX-7s and all that. And then
It's like the
each
LS
town-
Fest for rotaries.
Yeah, it's
That's dope.
insane, and these are like real serious meets where like the guys are like spending the whole day checking everything, making sure every bolt is shining.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful. And then you got these cars that compete over there, and they're like some of the fastest, and then they put them in these containers and they ship them to Orlando for the events in Orlando or the ones in Maryland. So Puerto Ricans had their place in the rotary world. So that's why
At the top.
At the top.
If you look at the
goddamn
fastest,
top.
like fastest rotaries, you'll see like all the flags, and you'll see a bunch of Puerto Rican flags.
Let's go. Shout out to Puerto Rico, man.
Yep.
Fucking rotary
That's
mecca.
dope. I never even knew that though.
Guys, we need to
Yeah, I was never sure if it was just a thing that like
I mean, yeah.
people on the outside just assume.
No,
There's
Puerto
like,
Rico, and not only rotaries, like it has some fast Hondas and all that, but like Puerto Rico car culture is like nothing I ever seen. And I've been to like Singapore where they're like crazy with like old cars and all that. And every country I go, like Philippines was big cars, but I never seen a place like Puerto Rico. It'll be like in some town there'll be like a 60-year-old man, and you'll be like, yeah, that guy's retired or whatever. And then you'll see in the garage, and he'll have like this beautiful Corolla with a rotary engine in it, and that's his
Let's
Jordan
go.
it's insane. So like I love when I go to Puerto Rico, just like
Yeah.
talk to people and be like, hey, or if I see a rotary or any car that's cool, right? I like to stop and talk to people over there because you get to know a lot.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah, I remember you showing me like pictures and videos down in your office that day, and it was like
everywhere, man.
it was wild, and it just like everyone around's like, oh, that's normal traffic.
Oh,
Wow.
On the weekends, if you go around the center of the island, it's beautiful. It's just mountains. You'll see the Cola Chinchorreo, where like people get together and go to these little like bars or like businesses on the side of the road that they sell food and drinks, and all they do is like hopping from business to business with their nice rotary cars,
Nice.
or other cars, right? Like there's some beautiful other cars over there, so
Hell
it's
yeah.
pretty insane.
man, we gotta go, boys.
I was
Wanna have
about to
to-
say that.
Man, we gotta-
Hey, it's a territory, so all you need is a valid ID, and then
That's
you go.
it. We gotta
And
go.
and zero warrants.
Yep.
Let me make sure. Let me double check, make sure I'm good on the warrant piece. But yeah, we should be fine. Hell yeah, man. We got Henry's like list of.
We could do that.
Yeah, Henry could.
Yeah. Well,
He should have been on.
We'll do. Yeah, he should have been on, but we will ask because the people want to know. Me kind of especially. Rich, do you think we'll ever see a next gen RX-8, maybe an RX-9 or an F12
I keep seeing, and then it's like, oh no, that's fake. But
I hope, just because of the knowledge aspect, right? Like I want to see something new, that I get. I'm like a kid, man. Like my kid is with Legos. I'm like engines.
For sure.
So like when there's a new engine out there, I want to know everything behind it and how like it was built and all that. So like I hope they do, so that I can put my hands on one day. And
Me too, man. I feel like, just with the like you were kind of saying with the Puerto Rican culture, and like there's so many like good rotary like mechanics, and there's not a cult but a large following. Give the people a new rotary to play with.
I feel like it's like the Mazda heritage. Like
it is too.
Yeah.
Like that's the other thing too, especially with this, like if this what is it, the Toyota Honda merger becomes a thing. It's like, those are like the big four in Japan. Like, Mitsubishi's kind of fell off the map, but
I think at this point it's a must, because you got like all the big brands bringing their like
they're bringing their A game right now.
They're coming back.
And like then what's going on, Mazda? Like,
what are you guys doing? Like, you and Mitsubishi are just like who's bringing up the rear? Stop making CX-9s, making RX-9s.
Right.
Hey, CX-9s are nice. I'm not gonna let you talk on monster.
All right.
The CX-7 is the one that has the CX-7 is the one that has the inline 6 turbo.
I think so. Yeah, because they usually start out there before they release it for their 3 and 5.
I was excited for that. I was like, Mazda
inline
turbo, pretty cool.
I
hope they do, because especially like a lot of the prestige and like the reason people know Mazda is because of that Le Mans 797B, right? So like, why that heritage that comes with the rotor engine? Like, why not? So there is patents out there, so hopefully that does happen.
Yeah, hopefully, man.
I would like to see it, even with the hybridization thing. I know we talked about it, where right now they have the one rotor that's like a supplement to an electric motor. But I would kind of like to see the inverse. Like, let's get a 2 or 3 rotor as the primary
and then
engine, and then just have an electric support to it, like any other sports hybrid car we have.
Yeah,
stuff like that'd be sick.
I think they should do a 3 rotor if they do it.
Bruh.
Yeah.
That'd be fire.
I might have to. I might have.
Yeah, I was just about
to make a move, dog. Be like, damn the car seats. Y'all ride with your mama.
I need that brap in my life.
We'll strap y'all to the hood.
I got lucky with the FD. The FD doesn't have seats in the back, and then after that, my wife's like, "Well, next car you buy has to have seats in the back," and then I got the Supra. baby seats in the back.
There are seats. Those are
the
seats.
Kids,
those
the
count.
The kids sit like this, they're holding their knee. But
said
it works.
Seats. Those are seats.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's
hey, my kids rode their whole early years on Recaro seats.
Oh,
so,
see, yeah,
nice.
I was looking for those, man. I think they discontinued them.
Yeah, I tried to find it too.
Yeah, they there was a thing where they banned them because they were found to like not meet certain safety requirements, but then they found out that the company that did that was their competition. So it was like a whole.
My God.
I kept mine because I bought mine's pre-ban. And I kept it. I bought it for my daughter, and I bought 2. I had one for each car, and then we saved him. Then my son was born 8 years later, and they're past the date. But it's
still throwing them in there.
I just them every day. Yep, very
good.
Good to go.
I was on like my 3rd or 4th kid when I realized there were expiration dates on car seats.
Yeah,
I didn't
know.
I was today years old when I found out there's an expiration date on car seats.
I grew up in Puerto Rico, where I
know what I'm going after this episode.
Go check that date.
Yeah, I'm going to check those dates.
Yeah, man.
Like, God damn.
If you had to pick your like preferred like port, like what would it be like as far as like your style? Like would it be like the street, the bridge, the multi?
So I like the half bridge for me, because I know how to drive it, right? Because you have that brapping sound, and then you gotta get used to drive it. You gotta feel the car. And a half bridge gives you that brapping sound, and it gives you like some of the advantages of a bridge port, but not so aggressive. A bridge port is actually a race port. So when you have a full bridge, right? Like you're driving it's the equivalent to driving a car with a big cam, and you're driving this thing in traffic, right? It's just not cool because you're like, blah, 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 blah. You're trying to take off, and you're like, people are looking at you like, what the
You're
fuck
like,
is
what's
that?
up?
Cars like struggling to stay on.
I tell people like get a nice street board. It's super street board, right? It's in the name. It's streetable, and then you can get it depending on the size and the tuning. You can get it to Brab. But if you are conscious that it's gonna be unique to drive, because like bridges, they require like air. They want to flow air. It's not the car that you want to be stuck in Skyboat trying to like move light a lot. It's gonna be jerking you all over the place. So half bridge will be for me my favorite one.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before
Now
we
the
hit,
best one for people will be a semi-peripheral port, and that's where you like open this side of the housings right here, and then you make it an emission port, right? And then that way you're cooling the center of the apex seal on the side.
Oh, nice.
And then it gives you a brapping sound too. The only thing with that is you gotta find a machine shop that does the work. Yeah, that'll be the best one for anyone out there to get.
most universal for guys who really want that brat, but aren't trying to sit there and stall out on.
Or do. Some people, hey guys, listen.
Hey, man.
Some people just want to see the world burn. All right. Some people just want to sit in traffic with a Bridgeport. I ain't one of them.
I got a friend that drives. I actually had a friend of a friend. I did an engine for him, and I'm like, hey, what do you want? He's like, I want a Bridgeport. And I was like, okay, but like, do you want a half bridge? And I tried to explain him the whole thing. I was like, no. He was Puerto Rican. He's like, Porte. It's like four ports, right? Like 4 bridges. It's like cuatro puente. They call it bridge, so puente, like cuatro puente.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but do you know that you're gonna like these bridges are to like be like out like high RPM. He's like, no, I want a cuatro puente. And I'm like, okay, cool.
All right, dog.
So I built the engine with a friend of mine, that Rotary, super cool friend from CA, also like wealth of knowledge. So we built that together for him. It's a beautiful setup still around. He has it. And then he tuned it in the Microtech, with street tuned it, and it's a beautiful car, man. It's a beautiful build. I'll send you some pictures later. And later on, he's like, hey, I just wanted to get with you to see if we can tune this area. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, well, when I'm in low RPM, it starts like jerking on me. I was like, it's asking you to like get on it. Like, you can't tune that out. That's what I was trying to tell you. Try to get with a like half bridge.
See, I tried tuning it before I built it, but you wouldn't listen.
But
Yeah.
you wanted it. You got it. Man.
Before we hit the rapid fire, I just want to ask one thing.
Yeah.
You've had a plethora of cars now from, it sounds like, from your Supras, your Mark IVs, FDs, FCs, FBs. What's next for you? Like, what do you have anything that you're trying to, like, you're actively looking for to try to start, or something you hope to fall into, or something under the works now that even I don't know about yet?
Yeah, I got right now. The next thing is I'm putting a rotary on a 1980 Mazda B2000. It's the old pickup truck with the quad headlights.
Yeah.
It's really cool. The reason I stopped is because it's cold and there's stuff that I can't do, like paint the engine bay and all that. So like I'm waiting for the weather to warm up a little bit and continue that. So that's next. And after that, I got a 1974 RX3 that is sitting in my friend's shop. Like I did all the body work, it's painted. It's just waiting for me to put an engine in it. I don't want to take it out of there and have it sit outside because I don't have the space for it.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm waiting for the right time to work on that, and then that one's gonna be sick.
Nice,
I'm trying to put a turbo on it.
Hell yeah.
And just assassinate that.
Keep us
And it's
posted,
gonna-
man.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a follow up on that one.
Yeah, we got to do a summertime follow up, bro. And see what's going on.
All right. How you want to do this rapid fire, Chad?
All right, I'll fire them off, and you guys. I'm glad you don't have a Scat Pack question on here because it would take like an hour. Yeah, I'll fire them off, man. You guys just let us know. All right. So first one, most iconic JDM car.
All right. Since you're our guest, Rich.
In my opinion, it's the Supra, and it's just like I'm one of those kids that grew up with Fast and the Furious, and like when I saw that orange car, and the sound, it just hit me right. Like I'm like I want to have like a car that sounds like that. I didn't even think I could have Supra, so I was like, I just want a car that sounds like that. And I think a lot of people still like when they see that scene when the guys roll out and the Supra smokes that car in the light.
Oh, the Ferrari.
The Ferrari, yeah, and it's just like fuck yeah. So
Can't afford this, pal.
More than you can afford. Jokes on them.
Ferrari.
Don't get me wrong. Like I think that you have the Skyline has its place too, but to me it's just Supra.
Yeah.
No, I accept, Rich. You're a valued guest, so I will not scream RB power all day.
I'll flip it. I'll go R34.
I was about to say, I'm definitely going Godzilla.
I say that after having
no disrespect.
Power plant.
Yeah. All right.
Nah,
what
I am
do
a
you
super
boys
fan,
got?
though.
What do you boys got for your most iconic JDM car?
I know. I'm going R34.
Right.
R32 or R34. I think R34 for the movies, like you said, the Fast and the Furious. If you don't know the Supra, then you know Brian's Skyline.
You know the 34.
But if you're doing it outside the movies and you're going for like the racing heritage, then you probably know the R32 more than you know the.
Yeah. You Gran Turismo aficionado, you know that 32.
Or if you're poor and you can only get the demo on PlayStation, then
hey man,
you know you had two cars to choose from.
Yeah, the 32. all day. What about you, Corey?
Everybody always goes, either Supra, RX-7, or.
Are you gonna spice it up real quick, bro?
I was always a fan of like the S14s and 15, man.
Okay.
It's I seen that, but I don't care.
Okay.
Them some sexy rides, man.
I'm with you. I respect your opinion.
It's better than a Mustang.
It's definitely better than a Mustang.
You guys know Toyota's first supercar?
The
2000
the GT, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That to me, a lot of people don't know
That's a beautiful car.
To me, it's one of the most iconic cars.
That is a beautiful car.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, man.
What about the 86 Corolla?
The 88.6?
They have their place.
That's an icon, man.
That's an icon for sure.
It's an icon.
In Puerto Rico, you see those cars everywhere.
Yeah. They're all panda colored for some strange reason. I don't know why.
Hey, but they dope that color.
It's like there's an anime out or something. All right, man. Question 2. Well, we just kind of talked about it, but all right. RB platform or 2JZ platform, boys? Which one would you prefer?
You gonna start us off? You're the guest of honor, so you get the first answer.
No, I'm gonna say 2JC because of
because it's
availability,
right.
No,
It's not right.
It's
not right.
You blow one up, you go to a junkyard and find yourself a SC300 and pull that block, and then you can use it, right? Where you have an RB and then you have to find it. Or
I can't disagree with that.
Or you're paying a tremendous tax.
Yeah. That's mostly the reason why I went with the JC, just because if I blew it, I was able.
Yeah, you're fine. You can find something. Yeah, the RB tax is real, man.
I love the sound of the RB though.
It does sound good. It sounds really good.
Boys, can't wait for the summer. Just can't wait. Punt that Gulf into the Gulf of America. Shout out to you, Donnie. No, just kidding. Don't change the goddamn name of the Gulf. All right. Well, we know old Perk Sancho is gonna pick the 2J. What about you, Corey?
Yeah.
Honestly, I've always wanted an RB. Like
fair.
Forever. And it was one of those things where I knew was like more than likely out of reach until I was like old as dirt. But that's still been one of those things. Like he just said earlier, I've had like 2Js in reach.
Yeah.
But I've never had an RB
like an RB
reach.
in reach. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, it's RB for me. Because I just naturally have a bias. Because there's one in my garage right now. But yeah. Oiling issues aside, man, like nothing.
Oiling issue. What's that?
What?
What's that? TJ guys don't know that.
Do you have a RB20? Is that what?
26. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And well, this one's a 27. This one's got bored out, but yeah, it's one day. But yeah, man, nothing sounds like it. I just don't have small ass hands, so it's always an oil cooler in that motor for me, because I ain't trying to get up where that oil filter is, dog. Like I can't do it. I don't have like tiny Japanese hands to do that. No.
You can buy you some of them little mini ones.
Yeah, like the little.
That's how those RX-8s are.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I remember
yeah,
changing
so
oil on
good.
mine too, dude. And it's like, how the fuck do you get your?
For the spark plugs, you have to like take out the wheel and all that.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Mm-mm. That's not today, Satan.
Not today. Not any day, Satan. All right. We are beating this topic to death. Mark IV Super R34 GTR. I feel like we covered this already with our most iconic, but
I mean, yeah, I feel like we did.
yeah.
Yeah.
Push.
Honestly,
I'm picking both.
what about number 3?
Oh,
Oh
shit.
yeah.
That-
Specifically for you, Rich.
yeah, Rich. Yeah.
I mean, I know my answer.
FC or FD RX-7?
This is tough for me, dog.
It's not tough for
It
me at all.
depends, man. Like I love my FC more than my FD to drive because I can get in and out easier. And I'm a younger person, right? But
Yeah.
I this thing right here, like I say, like 15 years from now, I probably will not like getting in and out of it.
Yeah.
All right. House is burning down. You can only save one car. Which one's it going to be?
Which one? Yeah.
Oh yeah, the FD.
Okay.
Yeah.
FCs are more available.
Yeah. No, I would. I just like the boxiness of the FC, man. So
They're beautiful.
I always thought FCs were cool, but that
they
FD
are
is
beautiful.
like,
FD is sexy though, dude.
Yes.
Like
I
it's.
think
it's,
the FD, because of the curves, is just
Yeah.
timeless.
I was gonna say,
right?
the FD is the
FC, you
Instagram
see it and
model.
just- yeah.
the FD is what like had me like. I had so many high hopes for the RX-8 when it was coming out because I was in love with the RX-7.
yeah.
And then I was like, man,
What did they do? What are these doors?
I mean, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't what we all expected.
Yeah, it's a little bit big, but in Singapore, they have some sick RX-8s, and
Okay,
that's
man.
when I really saw like you can make those RX-8s. look
potential.
really
There's,
good.
there's potential. It's
Yeah,
that body style has some untapped potential.
Yeah. RX-8 has potential. RX-7 has perfection.
Yeah.
I can't
That's-
disagree with that.
That's a statement. All right. Well, I'm glossing over number 4. We've talked about Mark IV
Yeah.
Supers and GDIs enough today. Okay, most overrated JDM car and most underrated JDM car.
I think the most overrated to me is damn, I'm gonna sound like a hater,
No, you're fine.
but it's the NXX. Right?
Yeah,
It's-
bro.
It's a beautiful car, but it's slow.
I can't disagree
Super
with that.
slow.
Okay. I can get behind that. I can get behind that.
And out of all them, like you remember the oldest cars that came out in those years, like you had the 300ZX twin turbo.
Yep.
You had the what's it called, 3000 GT
Yep.
twin
Yep.
turbo.
Yep.
And then here comes Honda, like man, it's
And just throw something out there.
There you go.
it's a beautiful car though.
It
Oh,
is.
yeah, they are
beautiful.
fire.
Like, I would love to have one.
Yeah, but yeah, I would not be trying to hunt down scat packs at an NSX. So just not the move.
No. What about your most
Yeah,
underrated?
most underrated JDM.
There's a few there, right? I think the 3000 GT is one that a lot of
Yeah.
people underrate, especially the what's it called, VR4.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
VR4.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
those are
They're
monsters.
badass. And then one that a lot of people don't give the credit is the Mitsubishi Starion TSI. Those cars.
The Starions?
Yeah, the Starions or the Conquest.
Yeah.
Those cars came with white fenders, stagger wheels.
There's
the
been one
80s.
rolling around, one or two rolling around here that I've seen that.
Yeah. Oh
Is it
shit.
black? If it's black, it's an old man from Rayford. It's cool.
I've seen a black one. I saw a white one too.
All the stuff that car came with, it was a 2.6 liter turbo, rear wheel drive, front mount intercooler
Let's
from
go.
factory.
Let's go.
Man, see,
Yeah, it was badass.
Mitsubishi, come on back.
for
it
real.
was in the 80s. That thing has like controls for the radio on the steering.
Let's
On the
go.
steering wheel?
Man.
Speaking my language.
It was
Speaking
just
my
above
language.
its time.
It was just timeless, man. Racing or wrenching? What do you guys prefer? Push.
Man.
I like both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like both, guys.
Yeah,
If I had to pick, at this age, because I got kids, I would like to be in the pit crew wrenching, right?
Right,
Rather than
right.
being like in the car that's like taking a quarter-mile pass and something goes wrong.
Yeah.
and then,
That's fair.
Been getting real familiar with the wall.
Yeah.
I have less of a desire to go 300 miles an hour now than I did before. Now, like, I don't mind, like, spending hours in the garage, but before it was like I had to hurry up and get it done.
Yeah.
Just so I could
Yeah.
speed down the road.
Yeah. I feel like I'm starting to slow down a little bit, but I'm still trying to time travel, boys. So whatever.
I'm
Everywhere I
with you.
go, work commute 88 miles an hour, just in case. Just in case.
Like if I could only do one, like from my here on out, it would be wrenching, just because it's
Yeah.
you can always change it up. You can always
Yeah.
and like there's always new stuff coming out. I do enjoy the racing aspect of it. But I like kind of like how Henry and I have it worked out. Like I'll do the work on the cars, and we'll go up to like VIR or something, and I'll drive it there
Yeah.
to see, so I can still kind of get that speed fix out there. I just don't have the desire to sit out there and get like in competition and
Yeah.
go race after race and worry about
No.
points and like trying to climb through and
Yeah, I ain't got time
find
for all that.
spawn.
Yeah,
Like, just
the
let
last
me
event,
drive.
the last event I did was like 2 years ago, and it was one of these like veteran events where they had like a 20 it was like 200 lap enduro race, and the
Jesus.
rules were like you bring your stock car and you race it in a dirt track. So we pulled this FB RX-7 that was donated by a friend of mine, Billy Bailey. Thanks to Billy Bailey.
Nice. Shout out to you, Billy
He
Bailey.
gave me
shout
this
out Billy,
car that
man.
was in the
TV.
woods. We pull it out, and in a week, we put the engine and all that, and we rolled it to the track. That thing was bad. We cut this out. It was like dump. It was a header and like side acid, and people were in love with it. And there was actually a group of kids like, "Are you guys gonna race this? Like, man, I will buy this right now." Like, it's like,
I bet
no,
you
man. It's
would.
like, oh, it looks like good on the top, but it's all rusted out.
Do not.
You don't know how close we are to death right now.
Yeah. You're right.
I did a few laps on that, but I realized that we were the smallest car there. People had these long Lincoln cars and like SUVs, and we had this small ass RX-7. Excuse me. And I was like, nah, this was fun because you're like in the rush. But then I was like, you start seeing the videos, and I'm like, man, I could have ate it here. No roll cage and nothing.
Yeah,
So
nothing.
then
Just
the second event, we did a couple of improvements, and then I just have one of my friends because he wanted to. He sponsored the tires and all that. I was like, you know what? If you want, you can drive a few laps, and I just let him drive, and I just wrenched the whole time.
Nice.
So
Yeah. Like for me, like I've got goals that I want to hit that are like driving oriented. Like I want to crack 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Like there are tracks that I want to run laps on. I wouldn't mind doing like recreational drag racing, like go out to like a streetcar takeover or like import face off or something, and like maybe compete at that particular event at Rockingham or at ZMAX. But I don't have the desire to like tour and travel to race.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
that's
That's
how
too
I
much,
feel.
man.
that yeah. Can't do it.
Like, even if I ended up building a monster, like within my lifetime, I'm not chasing anything like that. I just want to have it for personal gain.
Yeah. Just here to have fun at this point and enjoy. And,
Yeah.
all right, man. Well, we'll transition to the next question. Is the Mark V A90 Supra really a Supra? No. I said what I said. No.
I say yeah. And,
See,
it has a
I
lot of
disagree.
Man right
components
here.
from BMW and all that. But like, I think so. Here's the thing, and the way I see it, right? Like, the only way Toyota would have been able to bring that car was with
Partnership.
collaboration.
I get it.
BMW, because they haven't done an inline six in decades.
I get it.
So,
true.
but they took that. What is it, B58? They took
The
that
B58,
engine,
yeah.
right, and they put their sauce in it, right? They fixed the little things that will make it more reliable and all that. Which, you know, like with the MK4, they overbuild the engine. So
Yeah.
like I want to believe that they did the same thing with the MK5. You know, there's people like, no, so I'd rather have that collaboration with the BMW and have the MK5 than not have an
nothing.
MK5.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. There's a
And they
pretty one.
and they
Very
did do
high.
that with the B58 because I was watching a documentary on it, and I think Toyota sent the B58 back to BMW when they were kind of like going through the parts to see what they wanted to change and make, and they sent like hundreds of corrections back
Like fix y'all
on the
shit.
B58 to figure it out, and you see it kind of paying off because that's the first closed deck inline block that Toyota or that BMW's done since the late 90s, early 2000s. And within less than a year, you got guys like Papadakis pushing 1,000 horsepower out of it.
Yeah.
Now you're pushing, guys are pushing 1,600 horsepower, not even out of the Supra, but pushing it out of like their M240s
Yeah.
or the
It's all-
240Ms.
it's in it's in the M2. Huh? Yeah.
Like if it's pushing power, you can go 9 seconds on that car for like $5,000.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
One day I'll
It
agree
is.
with you, boys.
So obviously, I'm gonna say the Mark V Supra is a Supra, and I'm gonna be as bold as to say that it is the better car. From a purely performance aspect, it is the better car. Doesn't look better. It doesn't look
I
better.
mean, yeah, but you gotta take it.
It's 30 years older, newer.
If you're comparing it to the MK4, yeah, this thing is a dinosaur now.
Yeah, and that's,
Yeah.
and we're
It's just a badass dinosaur, right? Like,
Yeah.
And I'm
No, I
doing-
like the if it's in the right color, man. There's a all black one on bronze rims at the car dealer outside my neighborhood, and that thing is gorgeous. Like,
Yeah. I'm doing a video on it now, kind of comparing the two cars, like kind of answering
Yeah.
the same question. But yeah, like that's my whole point. Like it's a better car because it's new. Like it's supposed to be better.
yeah. No,
You can't argue with
you
that.
can't
at all.
argue with that. But one day I'll agree with you guys. But you know, I don't know. Just a hater. I'm just
Now, which one would I rather have? Yeah, that's kind of. I'm gonna take the Mark IV if I could.
Yeah,
have the choice.
I'd probably take the Mark IV over the Mark V for sure, all day long.
the Mark V.
Oh, Rich.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's because I already got this one.
Yeah,
That's fair. That's fair, man.
I want a B58
all right.
swap a Mark IV.
Hey,
Yo, that'd be fire. Not even
B58.
gonna lie.
I'd be the most hated person on the internet.
You would, but it'd be
Yeah.
dope.
It would. You would. Oh, you'd be notorious, bro. Yeah. No.
What was your answer, Corey? Did we get your answer?
Yeah. What is your answer? You said yeah. No, Corey said yeah. Right? Did you answer?
No, I didn't.
Oh shit.
So we had this question before,
We had this on the.
and
Yeah. I don't remember.
I'm going to have to agree with the knowledge that I have now. There would not be any new Supra if it wouldn't have been for BMW anyway. So, yes.
That is a fair point. That will almost convert me. But
And I honestly, like, the more that I see them, the more it's growing on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's not that I didn't like it before. I just like it even more so now.
Yeah.
Than I did when it first came
Yeah,
out.
I've always thought it was a beautiful car.
Yeah,
It's just I don't know. I
Look,
I
the
guess
whole
I'm just-
world deserves oil leaks, okay?
It's
BMW
definitely
is
shitting on
trying
that
to
Z.
help
I'm just
everyone get on the same
a
page.
caveman when it comes to like I guess I'm just
Look,
old and like like car brands should not collaborate. Like it's this whole like shit with the NBA and like when LeBron went to Miami and Dwayne was there and then Chris Bosh was there. Like back in the day, Jordan never went anywhere. Kobe never went anywhere. So I feel the same way.
Well, there was this
like-
one team in DC that Jordan went to.
That's
yeah. I mean,
but it's been happening forever, right?
Yeah, it has.
Chrysler
Yeah.
and
It's been going on for a
Mitsubishi,
while.
like-
So,
it's just been behind closed doors and nobody really
yeah.
knows.
Well, there was that whole BRZ FRS fiasco. Nobody.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, yeah, don't get me started on
Yeah.
that.
Dodge and Ford just need to collab.
No.
Make a Shelby Scat Pack. The
Absolutely,
ultimate,
absolutely not.
The ultimate crowd killer.
You don't want a GT 500 170?
Yeah,
Bruh.
the ultimate, bro. The burnouts.
I think your next episode should be on those engines that people don't know about. Like like now they're starting to pop because of YouTube and all that. But you have like the Vortec.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Yeah,
the
the Atlas engines.
Yeah, the Atlas engines. Yeah.
Those are badass. People making sound
was
like
seeing,
super.
There's a what is it? A 5.7 liter Amazon.
The 7.3, the Amazon
it.
delivery truck.
Yeah, they got
The delivery truck.
They got
Yeah.
And people are swapping them into
People are
like
swapping,
the
yeah.
Mustangs,
Godzilla motors.
So there's a lot of engines like that people are like, some people like the Tacoma Inline 4 is another engine that a lot of people don't know about it, but there's people like Orlando and all that pushing 1,000 horsepower
crazy.
out of that liter Inline 4. So there's a lot of cool engines out there that only a few people know, and they're sick.
It's like the 1UZ was like that for a while too. Like people didn't know about the 1UZ, and now they're starting to pop.
Boys,
I'm upset the B58s kind of got the attention because I was really hoping to snag one from a junkyard.
I'm going to buy an Amazon truck, bro. There's got to be one around here.
I was like, no shit, when I seen that thing.
I said, what?
That video, I was like, yo, why couldn't a tornado slide through
Yeah,
here?
it's the one that the tornado. Yeah,
Listen, bro, we got a snowstorm coming on Tuesday. I'm gonna
Right?
be out there Wednesday morning just looking for Amazon.
Just
truck.
looking for rent.
I'm about to catch Amazon slipping out here in the cul-de-sac.
That's
it.
We'll just knock somebody out. The next Amazon delivery come. What you got in there?
We're gonna to do that for an episode. We're gonna do
That'll be a good. That'll be a good episode.
the uncovered
Thanks, Rich,
engines,
man.
the
Appreciate
untapped
you, bro.
engines.
Hey, Rich, you can come back for that one, dude. Come on back
All
for
right.
that one, dog.
we'll talk about the U-Haul swaps.
Hell,
Yeah.
hell yeah! All right, man. Let's wrap it up. Hell yeah, we got it.
Yeah, Henry gonna be yelling at us.
Henry gonna be.
Well, Henry needs to get involved before he has suggestions.
That's fair. All right, man. Rich, you want to shout out your socials, man? Your YouTube, your Instagram.
Yeah, I'm most active on Instagram. It's Gorenash _garage, and then the same YouTube. I just don't have a lot of time to post. I'd rather be building stuff than like making videos and editing because that takes a lot of time.
Respect.
Fuck yeah, it does.
Maybe now that I'm like towards retirement out of the military, I will have more time. And I'll put out more stuff there.
Nice.
But yeah, Gorena's Garage. Find me there. Find all the stuff that I'm working on.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I highly recommend you guys follow too because like, you will see, like it's not just like your running the mill. It's not like me posting car stuff. Like he's getting out and like the work he's doing is like work you would actually like obviously like pay for it. You would seek out that. He's not like just throwing parts together with and then tripping people up with crankshafts in their hands and ending ER trips.
Whoops.
I'm adding them up right now.
Golly, man. All right, man. Well, Rich, thanks again, man. Thanks for coming. Thanks for having me. We'll have you back, man.
For sure.
Good
Nice
stuff
meeting you,
today,
brother.
man. Nice to meet you too, man.
Hey, the honor is mine. Thanks for the invite.
Yes, sir. But yeah, man. So yeah, we learned a lot today about rotaries. If y'all didn't know, now you know.
Dorito 101.
Yeah, Dorito 101. Y'all learned I am a hater and I don't care. Don't care. So yeah, man. Thanks. Actually, this is the last episode
Of season one.
Season 1, man. So next episode, we are starting a brand new season as we cap off a year of podcasting. So, man, give yourselves a hand, boys. We made 365-ish days of podcasting. Let's go.
You know what? This is probably our best episode so far too, cause like just the knowledge exchange and
Yeah.
No, for sure, man. We are evolving like a Pokemon or something.
I think that's like my favorite, if I can close with something, so my favorite part
Absolutely.
of the whole like car culture is like the relationship building and the exchange of ideas. Like I had a guy here that came to pick a car and he brought a friend of his who was an older gentleman. He works mostly in like V8s, but he started looking at the garage and he's like, all right, I see what you're doing here. And then we started talking, and I was like, do you know this guy? And he's like, yeah, that's my boy. And next thing you know, like, we know a lot of the same people, but different, generations. Like the guys probably like in his 60s. And, like the guys that I also meet in the meets because they like the car or they drove one like back in the day, or when I go buy parts, just the exchange of ideas. So that's my favorite part.
Yeah.
And I'd say to the guys that are like starting, don't be afraid of like starting. Like, a lot of people are afraid because they just don't know where to start. Nowadays you have YouTube, you have a lot, you still have the forums, so you can go out there and start from zero. And don't be afraid of making mistakes because we all make them.
Yeah,
that's the big thing, man. Like, you're gonna make a mistake. They just
keep on going, man. Like keep on going, and don't let like we talked about this a long time ago, but like the Facebook forums and stuff, it's a good platform, but there are a lot of like salty people who are just like, oh, you didn't use the search feature or whatever.
Yeah. Some people are just haters, man.
Yeah, fuck them. Like, ask your question.
Don't live your life based on others.
Yeah,
so you'll never do anything.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, learn to give zero fucks like most of us do.
There is a difference between hating and trying to keep you from blowing up your engine, though.
That's fair. That's fair.
True.
It's just context. Read the room. Read the room. Don't. Yeah. God damn it. All right, man. Any last words, guys, before I do my corporate closeout?
No, just thanks again, Rich, for coming on, man. We appreciate it. We enjoyed it. Hopefully we can do it again soon.
Yeah, we'll do it soon. But all right, man. Well, we've come to the end. So like, comment, subscribe, follow us on YouTube at Skunkwerks Projects. Right? Wait. No.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. We're on. Follow us on Instagram at skunkwerks.projects. Hit up the website, man, where you can find the link to the podcast at www.skunkwerks.com with an E, not an O, boys. Go buy some goddamn merch. Yeah, podcast can be found on all your major podcast outlets: Apple, Spotify, Google, some random Chinese one. Don't ask how I got on there. But yeah, man, thanks again. Thank you, Rich, for coming, man.
Thank you guys.
Fuck Scat Packs. We out. Y'all have a good one.